Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Now You Know. I'm Chris Perkins, the host, and we're at a pretty cool location, actually, in the middle of downtown Skowhegan. We're at Joe's Flatiron Cafe, and this is the owner, proprietor, barista. Any other names you go by?
Yeah, janitor.
Yeah. This is Joe Allman, the owner of Joe's Flatiron. And so anyways, Joe, it's been an interesting going on almost 4 years since
About 3 years, yeah.
well, I'm going back to
when we
how
first
this whole
construction,
thing
yeah.
kind of started. And back, I think it was the summer of 2022, you had a rather unfortunate accident. You were trying to be a good Samaritan, essentially, trying to retrieve a drone that was stuck on the riverbank and on the Kennebec River.
Yep.
And you were trying to go get it, and you fell.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing is we had a company that was coming in and doing a promotional video for downtown Skowhegan, kind of doing some like B-roll, flying through the gorge and doing a couple other things. And in the process of doing that, they ended up getting their drone stuck in one of the trees. And so I got called by people through Main Street and friends of mine saying, "Hey, we have this guy. It's got an issue stuck here. Can you come help us out?" And I was kind of one of those people that just like, yeah, sure, I can come help out. I can kind of problem solve and stuff like that. So get down here. We're checking things out, trying to make a plan of what kind of gear and stuff I might need in order to go down and retrieve this. And in the process, had a misstep and down I went. So it's just, you never know when something's going to happen, or you're just going to, take that wrong step.
And that was a really wrong step.
It was about 25-foot fall.
It was kind of what you call a life-altering event.
It sure the heck was.
And you ended up, at Maine Med?
Yep, Maine Med. I was there for 12 days. It was life lighted down. Broke 3 ribs, punctured a lung, broke both my wrists, bone in my face. Afterwards, had basically paralysis on the whole left side of my face. Had to go to therapy to get my hands and wrist working again. But pushed through and was able to do a pretty much full recovery. I mean, there's still some aches and pains there and some weird things that, when the weather changes, but...
But, but at the time when this happened, you were working for the fire department. I mean, you
Yep.
were a paramedic. You even had a carpentry business on the side.
Yep.
You had a lot of things going on. And then due to this injury, you couldn't do all that stuff anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the head injury was the biggest concern with the neurologist. They were like, they're concerned about getting hit in the head again, putting on an air pack, doing things like that through firefighting. They're like, we don't recommend, and you should give up your career as a firefighter. So I ended up deciding that, well, that was something I just had to do. And it was kind of a coincidence that we got into this situation right all in the same week. It was like, you can't do this, but hey, there's an opportunity over here to do this. So
It must have been, obviously it must have been very frustrating, but you seem to have had a can-do attitude through this whole thing, and you had to essentially reinvent yourself.
Yep, sure did. I mean, my biggest thing is after, I was in the hospital, sitting there and, recovering, I'm thinking, well, I could either be upset and be sad and, try to figure out what to do, or just say, you know what, something bad's happened, I need to just go a different route and just try to change and turn something that was bad that happened into something good and positive.
So tell me, from there, how did Joe's Flatiron Cafe come about?
So as I was recovering, I was, would be very antsy personally, and
Yeah.
I would need to get out of the house. So I spent a lot of time coming downtown. I had friends that would bring me into town. I'd help out my friends at the Bankery, doing some stuff down there, and then some Main Street things as well. And at that time, Patrick Moore had just purchased this building, and he was kind of looking for a little bit of construction advice and some stuff about what to do with the building and how to get it to function and things like that. And having a background with construction and on the fire department, I was, be able to give him some, pretty good advice. And as we got talking about it, he had mentioned a little bit about, thought it would be really cool if the town had a coffee shop. And I was like, I've had that same idea in my head for many years. I personally at home at that time had my own espresso machine, made coffee, loved cooking, would do all of those things. And we got to talking, and at first it was just kind of this idea. And once I kind of realized that I needed to pick a new career path, I said, you know what? I have this opportunity in my life to make a big change and just go for it. And that's what I did. So I called Patrick up and said, hey, let's build something.
Well, the location of this place is 65 Water Street, and for those of folks who've been in the community for quite a long time, this was the paperclip for I don't know how many years, but it's got to have been over 20.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
So people were used to that. And then it was, I believe, unoccupied for a little period of time.
Yep.
And then you basically gutted this place, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
we gutted everything right down to the studs, and basically did some reworking of some of the framing and put all brand new plumbing in, re-insulated the whole entire place, new heating and cooling system, and restructured it so that it would work for a cafe. Yeah.
And it's amazing what you did now. How long a period of time did that take to?
It was about just a year, because we opened the beginning of August, and on July 26th is when I had my accident. So it was just over a year since I had my accident. So we're probably looking at about 10 months worth of construction that we did. And it started out a little slow in the beginning because I was still recovering. But, towards the end, I had a good crew here working. And we just...
Who was the crew? I mean, was it a bunch of friends or?
There was a lot of community members that just wanted to come and help out. They were saw that, what had happened to me, and they were we just want to pitch in whatever we can do. So a lot of people came in and just moved stuff. We had lots of debris that needed to get rid of and things like that. But I ended up hiring friends of mine, Mike Savage and Rick Caldwell. Both came in, and the three of us kind of did everything that you can see here now. Hung all the drywall, did all the woodwork, put cabinets in and everything, and they're such a huge help. And it was good. It was nice because I had worked prior with them on the fire department for many years. Yeah. So it was just, it was real nice.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, where did you come up with the ideas of whether it be the furniture that's here, or the paint, or you have bookshelves here with plenty of books that people can read, artwork. Is this all your ideas? You get some input?
I mean, 95% of it is just the vision that I had in the beginning. I kind of just started looking at things and looking at the building itself. And if you explore this building a little bit deeper and you go upstairs, it has a lot of nice woodwork and coffered ceilings and all of that. So it's bringing in those traditional elements. A lot of my prior life as doing construction and stuff, we I worked on a lot of buildings like that, and worked on quite a bit of the buildings downtown and a lot of traditional woodworking and stuff like that. So I was like, I wanted just to feel like most of it's always been here, but I wanted it to have like this little bit of a modern twist, right? Like we have all this beautiful woodwork and it's all kind of color washed is what they say. It's all one color, but it works, right? It all stands out really nice and things like that. And I just kind of picked a color palette and went with it and kind of based everything off that. So
The shade of blue, I'm sure you know the exact.
yeah, so like the main paint, the lighter colored blue, that's Revel blue,
Okay.
right? And it was kind of funny because we had like 5 blues all painted on the wall, and we are trying to compare them to the darker blues and some of the like the walnut color that we were looking for, and then the wooden floors, and just kind of played around with it. And this one just kind of like just stuck out, and it was, yeah.
Well,
So-
it kind of creates a mood, doesn't it? It's kind of a laid back,
Yeah.
warm type of mood that you have here, and this place kind of is almost something that I would expect to see in a college town or near a college campus. I don't know if your intent was to
Well,
have it like that, or
it was kind of because, throughout my life, I was lucky enough to travel a lot with my dad being in the Marine Corps. So I visited tons and tons of places. And then I still kept that type of thing going on as I got older. I would travel to different places. And one of the other spots of inspiration was when we traveled out to Seattle and seeing, there's like 4 coffee shops on every corner, like out there. There's lots of different styles and things to choose from. And I was just trying to get this feeling that you could have like this nice, relaxed atmosphere that was welcoming, that was roomy, and that was something different that Skowhegan didn't have.
it's a very comfortable spot. This is a very comfortable couch. If I wasn't drinking a cup of coffee, I might fall asleep. But it's just it's a very welcoming atmosphere, I think, and obviously that's something that you were trying to achieve, a community
Yes.
atmosphere where people can come in and spend some time. This
Yep.
is not
Yep.
something unlike some businesses, it doesn't sound as though you're trying to just turn things over and get people in and out of here. And so from what I have seen, you're talking about having people come in and even set up shop in here. If they're working, they can get a nice little corner somewhere and
Yep.
and hook up to free Wi-Fi in here and do that. And others, might even have a little meeting group or a group of friends that can come in
Oh yeah, we have
sit around.
tons of different groups and different activities and things that happen here. That was kind of like the basis of the whole thing is more about the community aspect of the shop. And I felt like driving home that this is a community space that sells coffee and sandwiches was more of the idea, and it's being more friendly and open with everybody that comes in. All of me, my staff, we're all like, we interact. Like everybody from who's up front taking your order to our cooks in the kitchen. Like everybody knows everybody when they come in. We have great rapport with our customers. And which, even when it comes down to like the other parts of the community aspect, we have different groups that come in, from sports groups to, drama to all kinds of different teams that will come in and just allow them to pitch their ideas of like, hey, we want to do this for a fundraiser. And then we just work those things out where we'll do maybe a specialty cocktail, not cocktails, specialty drinks, but we do cocktails
You do
also.
cocktails,
Yeah.
that's right.
So, and we also we'll do activities like this weekend, for instance. We're doing a pancake breakfast for the ski team, and they're going to come in, they're going to be just serving and taking stuff out, and everything that we're going to make the pancakes for them, and everything else is, purchased, and it helps both teams out. So they'll just make all their money on the sale of the pancakes, and they have a space to do it, and it's really just kind of allows them to do a fundraiser that's something that they probably might not have done anywhere else. And it's basically at a restaurant, where people are already coming, so it helps everybody out.
And I think the local library comes here too, right? Or library group, reading book club or whatever.
Yep, the book club meets here the third Thursday of every month.
Yeah.
And that's a nice little spot because they come in here at about 6 o'clock, and they all come in and order. They sit down, and then the space is pretty open to them, and they just talk about their book. There's probably 12.5 people that come in. It varies depending on the book that they're reading, but that's kind of how it goes with a book club. But we also have 2 or 3 other book clubs that come in and meet during the day. They're just like smaller groups, like 6 people, and they'll pick a table in the back and talk about their books. We also we try to help support small crafts and businesses. So a lot of times we'll charge like a little small fee, like $20, and they can set up a small area at the table on the weekends so that they can get that traffic to kind of help get their name out there and stuff. We've had multiple people have done that over the last couple of years. I just could go on and on with all the different groups that we have that we like to interact with, right? Like it helps both of us when we do these things. Is we have a group come in and set up, they bring their friends and family that are trying to support them, then they end up in turn supporting us at the same time. So I mean, it's really like that community-based thing is like, we can give a space. We're not, trying to sit here and get rich off of a group that's trying to raise funds, but it helps get our name out and help see.
Oh,
who we
absolutely.
really are,
So it seems to me you're all about community. That's a big part of what you're doing, and this is really kind of a community gathering spot. Now tell me a little bit how it's kind of evolved from the time you first opened up. What was it, August of 23 or right around that time?
Yep.
And I remember, and we did a show back somewhere around that time too, but this place has changed quite a bit since then.
Yep.
I think you started out kind of getting a feel for things and had a fairly limited menu, I think, at that point. Yep. And now it looks to me as though it's evolved quite a bit. So what's changed over the years?
I mean, when we first started out, it was really pretty basic items as far as like food went, and some of our coffees. Like this was all new to me because I have never been in the restaurant business. I've only eaten at restaurants, and that's about as much as I had in experience with a restaurant. So we started out really light. We didn't want to take on more than we could do, and then at that time it felt like a lot. But yes, just some basic coffees, basic drinks, had some fun flavors, and some like grilled cheese, breakfast sandwiches, and some simpler lunch sandwiches. And now we've expanded. We've got, we have so many different types of drinks that you can choose from, whether you like coffee or you don't like coffee.
I'm drinking a Carabassa coffee right now. It's very good.
Which
very
is
good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And just to kind of plug them real quick, Carabassa Coffee is a really great company to work for. They deliver our coffee right down here. The driver's super personable. They're really responsive when you're looking for things, and they're very helpful even when you go to their place right in Kingsfield.
Now, do you try to deal with a lot of main vendors if you can?
Yeah, I do. I like to use as much as main vendors as I can. It is a challenge because a lot of times what it comes down to is being able to get the supply that we're going. Like when we first started out, we used quite a few more main vendors, but we ended up finding is they they had a hard time keeping up, and it was a little bit too much for them to do it. So they ended up having to pull back, and we had to kind of switch things up. But any opportunity we can get to use vendors that are local people for items, it's great. It's great.
So yeah, you've got some very interesting things on the menu. One that I've got to try sometime is this pastrami Reuben. That sounds pretty darn tasty.
Yeah, our pastrami Reuben's pretty popular. It's probably one of the
I can
one of the
imagine.
most popular sandwiches, and it's kind of one of those. It's the same kind of thing. Like when we decided to put it in and start making the sandwich, it's evolved from what we started out to where it is now, and the slight changes have made it really nice. It's been really good.
And I've seen, and you do quite a bit of posting on Facebook. There seems to be like a soup of the week or something like that.
Most of the time, we try to have a soup every single day. Some days, since we typically only staff 2 people on, and a lot of it's driven whether or not we get the post online during the day is always the challenge, because if we get really busy, it kind of gets pushed to the back burner. But we do try to have a soup, and you can check Facebook out most of the time. Even shooting us, if you want to just give us a call, if we didn't happen to get it, we have no problem, letting you know what we have for soups that day. But yeah, we Scarlett, my cook, does an amazing job. She has a great palate. She's come up with some really good things that people look forward to, like her chili that she makes, this nice vegetarian chili that people really, really like.
Yes, I saw the posts on that too.
Yeah.
Another one to try out here. So, oh, it sounds good. Now, when you first started, I think you were just pure daytime, and you did not have any alcohol, I think, in the first year or two of your. Now you've added that on, and also as of right now, you have one night that you're a little later to Friday night until 8 o'clock. Although that's going to change, right, with the summer hours?
Yeah, so we're going to be coming out with some summer hours. We're not kind of finalized, but we will be going 7 days a week again, like we were last year.
Okay.
We're still working on what the Sundays are going to look like, is mainly the main hours, but you will see us changing our weekday hours from going 7 to 5 again.
Yeah.
And that will continue right through Friday, and then 7 to 4 will just kind of stay the same as what our Saturdays are, but the Sunday one is the one that we're kind of like looking at some information. I know we're talking about opening up earlier, but it's that closing time and kind of figuring that out, just so.
You ever thought of doing any brunch?
Well, last year we did brunch.
Oh, you did do brunch.
We did
okay.
brunch on Sundays.
We
did it from 10 to 2, and that's kind of like where we're at on deciding the Sunday menu, because of, well, one, staffing is a very important thing. You got to have people to work it, but also coming up with a nice menu that we can execute properly here. Like last year, we had eggs Benedict, waffles, and then there would be some kind of other type of rotating item that we would do, like from omelets to whatever. But we're working on some stuff like that, so you just kind of have to stay tuned for to see what happens.
When you mentioned Sunday, I said that is a brunch day, right?
Sunday is a brunch day, and it's went really well last year. We were only open for 4 hours because we were open from 10 to 2 last year for brunch, and it went really well. It was almost a little bit too busy for what we had for staffing, so that it was quite a challenge. But that's why it's kind of like we're gonna try to plan this out a little bit better this year. And it's the same thing, like, every year you learn something from the last one, you try to improve it and grow with it, so that everybody gets to have a good experience when they come in.
Absolutely. So you come in here and you've got a whole big library of books over here. So somebody could come in and take a book out and just sit here and read and have a cup of coffee and so forth. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And not only are the books here for people just to read in general, but we have quite a few people that keep the bookshelves stocked with
Okay.
books from either their collection or things that they find. And the books are all for sale. And
Okay,
so
okay.
what happens though is it's by donation only. So
Okay.
you come in, you want a book, you donate, the money goes to the Skowhegan Free Public Library to help them out. So
Oh, excellent.
all books that are sold off the shelf, it's all donation, goes right to 100% of the proceeds go right to Skowhegan Free Public Library.
Fantastic. Now, artwork. There's plenty of artwork in here.
Mm.
Is this just for people to look at, or is this a consignment thing, or people, or
So there, I would say at least half of it is all for sale.
okay?
I have the owner's information, and if somebody's interested in, some of them have prices on them, but if people are interested in, they could ask, and we can contact the owners if they would be willing to sell. Some of them are just pieces that are my personal artwork that I have that I put up. So I mean, anything's always for sale. I gotta
Yeah.
look at it. If you really want it, we can talk about it. But no, but yes, no, we get artists in all the time just to put their pieces up. Sometimes we'll have an artist bring it in for a week or so or a month, and then they'll take it down and put something else up. But it works really well for all of us because we have beautiful artwork on the walls that's always semi-changing, and then the artist is able to display their work. And you know, if they want to sell, we just take a small commission off of that for giving them the space, and
Sure.
it works out well for everybody.
Makes sense.
Yep.
And the other thing is you've got the Skowhegan Outdoors group, which is in the back part of your building.
Yep.
That people can come in if they want to. It isn't even rent, is it? They can actually
They just borrow.
borrow, whether it be a canoe or
This time of year,
kayak,
skis,
skis,
and snowshoes, ice skates. They've got a ton of camping gear. So I mean, you know, really check them out. They have, you know, you can go on their website and check out what they have to offer. And they're a Main Street program that basically they started this gear library. Oh, it's been quite a few years now. I couldn't tell you exact number, but
Yeah.
it's been growing every year, and it's just getting better and better. And it's the nicest part about it is it's that one thing, like we're wanting to give back to the community. They have this opportunity for people that might not be able to afford to go out and buy a set of skis to
Exactly.
learn how to ski or cross-country ski, and now you could just come in and borrow it. Or it's even like, you know, I always thought like, you know, if you've had kids growing up, you get them into a sport and they like it for one season, and it's like, wow, we just spent all kinds of, you know, money on this one sport. So at least something like this,
They can try it out.
They can try it out before you fully commit. And they have great programming as well. If you check them out, they have a monthly list of events of different programs they have going on.
Now, do they staff that at all? They don't expect you to deal
Right,
with
so
this, do they?
they staff their whole thing themselves.
Yeah.
They have people in here. Every once in a while, they're not open when we are, but it's based on what their activities they have going on and the different holidays and stuff like that. But 90% of the time, you can find somebody back there, and even asking my staff if there's some basic questions, we can answer those to help point them in the right direction.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And of course, we've got one of our trucks going by here or something. But Main Street is basically right next to you anyways, the
Yeah,
Main Street
they're
office.
Right up above us.
Right above you, that's
Yep.
right. So everything's kind of centrally located here in
Yep.
downtown. And 65 Water Street, where you are, is really right in the center of downtown Skowhegan.
It is.
So,
It is.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot, and just to let people know too. I mean, if you're coming downtown and you can't find a place to park out front, we do have a back door that people can access. It is a set of stairs, so you know, if you have a little trouble walking, you might want to stroll around to the front. But that is one nice thing that I'm pretty happy with our building is we're one of the few buildings downtown that don't have some sort of step up to get into.
Right. Yeah.
So it allows people that have a little bit more difficulty walking to get in here, or even wheelchair access. So.
And parking too. If you can't park right in front of the store, of course, there's municipal parking lot out on the other side, but out behind your store on the riverside, there's quite a bit of parking. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that or don't see it because
Right.
the buildings are in the way. But
Yep.
there's plenty of parking out there too.
There is plenty of parking, and the way it kind of works, there's some overlap with the different businesses, but for the majority of the time, our hours allow that there's plenty of parking back there, because by the time like some of our neighboring businesses open up, we're getting kind of close to the end of our day. So it really works out really well.
When's your busiest time? Is it first thing in the morning or?
No, it's actually kind of interesting, because when I first started out, we're like, oh, we should be open at 6, be here early, get the people that are going to work and all that. And what we found is that the atmosphere has kind of like put it differently as far as the way our hours work. So we'll have that at 7 when we open up. We have quite a few people that come in and grab a cup of coffee or something to eat on the way to work. But mainly between 9 and 1 o'clock is the busiest time here for the
9 and 1.
the cafe. Yeah.
Okay.
So it seems like we have a lot of different groups, or people that are off, or people that are working from home, or remotely, that all come in and are able to, do their thing.
So you you identified certain demographics that work well for you. Is it an older group or a younger group, or is it all over the place?
It's kind of all over the place, because we have some smaller homeschool groups that will come in and meet and do homework here. When we have older people that will meet up for coffee with their friends, or excuse me, they'll come in and meet and just chit chat about whatever's going on in the world.
And as I said, it's an inviting place to do that. You can come in here and just spend some time.
Yep.
And bring your computer in and work from here if you have to. And I know there's some people that do that.
Yeah, I mean, it is very.
And no one's going to kick you out.
No, and the nice thing is most 99% of the time, it's a pretty nice, pleasant, and respectful place to work. Nobody's loud, obnoxious, and things like that. But so it does make a really good spot to relax and work. And I always find it interesting is some of the people that do come in often. It's funny to watch them just move around, and they get different perspectives, and they're able to like sit at different spots, that make them feel like, they've changed locations, and it's always fun.
Well, I like the location we're in right now. I can look outside and see the people go by, and if you're a people watcher, this is a pretty good perspective right here.
It is.
And nice and sunny as well. So let's talk about, we've talked plenty about community, but specifics about some of the things that you're doing. And I know on your late night, as of right now, is Friday night, and you go till 8 o'clock at night. And you're doing, I know, bingo and trivia.
Yep.
I know you got Matt Quinn doing trivia. I can only imagine how that is, because Matt's quite a character.
He is quite a character, so it makes it fun. And actually, this Friday we were going to have Matt Quinn, but he had to cancel. So his sister is going to step in. So Katie Quinn's going to be
maybe
here.
even more of a character, actually. Katie, I know Katie pretty well, so I can get away with this.
I told them both. I was like, we need to get you guys both here at the same time, and you guys can like battle it out over this trivia thing.
It'll be a fun night with Katie here for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, besides doing like trivia, our bingo night has grown dramatically.
Yeah.
And we've been expanding that. That has been expanding so much. I was like, we were just saying before we got on it, started recording, that we had almost 90 people here on our last bingo night.
90.
Here. and it's like people are walking in like, there's nowhere to sit, and have to be turned away because they're leaving because it's like a little bit too crowded.
What's your seating capacity here?
So we can do, according to Fire Marshal, we can have up to 110 people in here. So we're not quite, we're getting pretty close there, but we're still doing okay.
It's pretty spacious. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a very spacious place.
Yeah. I mean, even when you're here and there's 90 people sitting down around the area, you don't feel like there's 90 people.
Yeah.
It's because we're how much room there is in space, and having that nice entryway where there's a lot of different space. It does make it feel a little bit less, because when I was talking with some of the other people afterwards, they couldn't believe that there were 90 people here that night, and then they got to thinking about it and like, oh yeah, I guess there were.
Well, bingo's kind of a universal game, really, that anybody can play. It's easy to do.
We have everybody from the youngest I've seen sitting down here is like 5 years old, to we have like a 93-year-old lady that comes in here and plays. So we have everything in between. We have, different groups that come in and enjoy themselves. And the nice thing is we offer so many different types of beverages that, it's not about, you don't have to just get coffee or something. We have cocktails that we serve. We've got, the one that everybody seems to love on bingo night is what we call our Red Riot, which is a strawberry raspberry lemonade, and they just love it. So it's like one of.
Is there alcohol in that?
No alcohol in it. I mean, there can be.
Well, you got to keep your faculties together if you're going to win in bingo, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Don't want those.
How many cards can you play at one time?
As many as you can get. So the way our bingo works is because with the calling up and speaking with the Maine State Gaming Commission, they're like, so we're not allowed to charge or allowed to give cash prizes away, because in order for you to do that, you have
got
to
a
be
gaming
licensed.
license, yes.
And the only way you can get a gaming license for bingo is you have to be a certain type of either nonprofit or something along that.
Okay.
So as talking through it with them, they basically said you can play bingo and still just have people there. Just you can, as long as you're not exchanging money for cash, you're fine. So what we've come up with is you get 2 bingo cards just for showing up, and then any item that you purchase, you get a bingo card for that. So most people will end up with like 5 or 6 bingo cards.
Oh, I see.
By the time they sit down. And then prizes, we've actually done it a few different ways. Like we'll have little gift cards that we give out of like free drinks, and we give out some coffee, and then we'll have the big one at night where we give out a $25 gift card. But the 2 most popular ones is we did a Yankee Swap bingo night, and we did a Valentine's Day bingo night, and everybody brought in something to give away, and it was very interesting, and people enjoyed it so much. And we're looking at probably doing one here for St. Patty's Day too. Is you basically, like the Valentine's Day one, you brought a Valentine's Day gift in, and it had to be something small,
nice.
Nothing too crazy. And as we played, we would give those out. And one of the rounds we did is like, when you won, you would actually get a prize and then take it and give it to somebody else, because it's Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah,
you
right.
Give a gift. So
exactly.
It's just fun. It's really entertaining. People have a blast. It's more about just that interacting with everybody than going home a big prize winner of some sort. But
now on the trivia night, I mean, what's the draw there? Bingo, that's kind of a universal thing.
Yep.
Not everyone does trivia or dares to do trivia, I guess. But.
Right. And that's a true statement. Some people are just kind of like not the big fans of like having to be put on the spot, the no knowledge type thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But we try to make it really interactive and fun. It's more than just answering the questions and learning. It's got a lot of learning part of it too. But we also, prizes at the end of the night. We give away like a gift card for here, and it's all about just that. It's keeping people interacting with each other is
Yeah.
what we like to do, because kind of goes back to our same thing as like community, right?
Community. Yeah.
We're here to have fun all together and interact with each other, and it so far so good.
Now, I wanted to bring this up. And you had recently given out 4,000 ounces
Yep.
of coffee because you had 4,000 followers on, was it Facebook?
Facebook, yep.
Facebook, okay.
Yep.
And that's interesting. How'd that all work out?
It worked out great. It was kind of it was interesting because we were getting close. I think once we had like 300 left to go, we started pushing our some posts to try to get more people to like, and we had like a bunch that come, and then it was like that last like dozen people was that challenge, and then it took us about I think about a month and a half to get fully up to the 4,000. But we offered a $500 gift card,
Yeah.
and giving out 4,000 ounces of coffee. And at the time, I was just like, I've had different comments. I was like, wow, that's a lot. And I was like, yeah, but we really want to get this base and following and have some fun with it, right?
Well, I think I saw a video of you, and you were having the discussion of what you were going to do to honor the
Yep.
4,000 followers, and I forget who made the suggestion. Well, you also should do a $500 gift card, and I think you said that much or something like that, and then you got talked into it.
Yes, our little video that we ended up making with with a couple of the employees, Alyssa and I, where I was over here pretending to sleep on the couch.
Yes.
And then
that's
I
right.
woke up and talking about the followers and putting that whole thing together. That was a fun little video we put together just to kind of help promote that. But yeah, just whole giving out the $500 gift card and the 4,000 ounces of coffee. It was quite interesting. When I was thinking about the 4,000 ounces of coffee, I'm like, man, how long is this going to go on for? And I was like doing the math in my head to try to figure out how many cups it was and all that. But honestly, it was a week. We ended up, and that was just, iced and hot drip coffee. And one week we gave out 4,000 ounces of coffee.
Wow.
So it went really well, and it was.
Well, you got a lot of people coming in and out here, so that works out well. Now, let's go on to, speaking of community, let's go on to the community dinners that you started, which seems to be a
pretty
novel concept and a darn nice thing to do for the community.
Yeah.
Where'd you come up with that idea?
Well, I mean, it kind of originated back in November. There was, a lot of different things. It's the time of year where it's a little bit tougher to get something to eat, and we are having some, the government playing all their games and stuff up top.
Yeah.
So we were like, we want to be able to do something to help out the community. And so we were like, I was talking amongst staff and friends, and was just trying to think of what could we do. And so I came up with this idea with the community dinners that we would just make something and put it out there every Monday night. And at first I was thinking okay, this is quite a bit of stuff to make, right? Like, how many people are we going to have coming? And
That's right.
This and that, and trying to figure all that out in the beginning. So we did a 7-week trial during the holidays, and it ended up working out really well. I mean, I think on average we were serving about 50 people a night. And basically the way we came up with is we have volunteers that come in that help serve the food.
Okay.
I prep and cook all of the food throughout the day so that it's all ready to go. And then the way that it all ends up getting paid for is it's all by donation.
Okay.
So people come in, if they can put down a little bit more money, they'll put in money in the pot, and if you can't afford to buy a meal tonight, then it's all good. It's all fine. It's all about that game of averages, kind of just have that pot of money, and then we kind of just let it roll into the next week and pull
The
from that.
donations pretty much cover things?
So yes, so in the beginning, it was a little bit more of my own money going into it, but
Yeah.
after it got rolling, I mean, each night or each Monday night will pay for the next Monday night, and it has worked out very well that we're just going to just keep it rolling as long as we can. We were talking about ending it at the end of March, but at this point, I'm just like, let's just see how we can keep this thing going, and as long as we have the help with the volunteers and the donations coming in, we'll keep it going. And that's been I feel like it's been super successful because I've had all kinds of different people that come in to them on Mondays, and basically it's like I've noticed like these groups are forming and they're bringing in and they're talking amongst each other, and they're, before it was like everybody kind of sat by themselves, and now it's like they're pulling the tables all together and they're sitting and having a big meal together.
Are there a lot of folks that might be lonely, isolated, who are
Yeah.
generally not in a community setting, who come in and come to these things?
There's quite a bit, and it's kind of, we have a few couples that will come in, but we also have some people that it's something to do on a Friday night, like on a Monday night, like that may not be able to get out and do anything. And I think like we're offering a nice atmosphere that feels more relaxed, like you're going out to a restaurant, and just being able to come here and get a good meal and hang out with other people is like, it kind of helps, like if you're in a rough spot, going through something rough in your life, it's like to be able to come in and spend time with other people and get something nice and warm to eat, put your spirits up, and then hopefully they just pass along the fact that, they'll do something good for somebody else.
Okay, so it's probably a mixture, isn't it, of those who don't have a whole lot of money, might be lonely, in need of some community, and those who are just donating and giving and wanting to help out.
Just here, just for meeting people, right?
Right.
They come in and they'll just come down here just to meet up with people and just want to support this whole endeavor of the community dinners. So it's worked really well.
And for you, business-wise, exposes a whole new set of folks to your business,
Yep.
I assume, and hopefully from that you get a number of repeat customers as well. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like it works out really well. It's kind of it was kind of a odd concept when I was thinking about it in my head. Is like, we're gonna make food for an unknown number of people that might show up and take donations to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
And it has worked out really well. And it's
well, when you first started this business, you really didn't know exactly what you were getting into. You started out with a pretty limited menu, and you just kind of felt your way through for a little while to see what your market was, and then kind of expanded from there. So it's kind of the same concept with that.
Realistically, yeah.
Now you probably have a reasonable idea what to expect. From people
So
coming
on
in,
our typical Monday nights, we have a good idea of what the number of people are that are going to come in, and realistically, the type of meal. Like when we do taco nights here, like that's pretty popular.
Oh, I bet.
A lot of people, like, it's one of our busier nights that we'll get people in here, but it's fun. It's great,
I think the famous chili was part of one of those nights.
Yes,
too,
it was. It was. We did have chili, and we made some cornbread, and this coming up Monday night, I was like trying to figure out what to do, and I was like, shoot, some more home cooked meals that Mom used to make is like sloppy joes, and
always goes over.
Some tater tots, and make some like macaroni salad of some sort, and it's just a nice thing, and that's kind of been the fun part for me, is like, I'll make the Monday night meal and not know what I'm going to be making the next Monday, and then as my week goes on, and just kind of get inspired to make something, and so far everybody's enjoyed.
Is this 6 to 8 o'clock on Monday nights then?
Yep. So it's 6 to 8 is when we're serving. If you want to volunteer, you can. If you show up here around 5:30, that's good. We can set you up. We've had from 5 or 6 volunteers to almost 16 volunteers, and everybody loves doing it. So everybody kind of pitches in and just does a little bit here and there, and we just same thing. Besides the people coming in and eating, the volunteers have a blast. They interact. They get to talk. It's like a little social club that they can come to and meet up with people that they probably maybe not see all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it sounds wonderful. I understood at your Christmas one that you had, or one just previous to Christmas, you had a special guest here playing piano.
Yeah, Mark Tanner came.
Yeah, yeah.
He played piano for us all, and it was really nice. It was definitely a really like Christmas spirit vibe going on here that night. I mean, it was the same thing. I think we ended up serving 80 meals that night, and lots of people interacting with each other and having this wonderful Christmas music being played on the piano. A couple people pitched in, started singing, and it was one of those things. It was just like, this is like Hallmark movie type stuff.
Well, that's true community, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 So that was your intent, and that is what you got, really, because
Yep.
it's pretty amazing the community vibe that this place has, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what you wanted to establish. Now, Joe, as if you didn't have enough projects going on, you've decided to take on another one. It's in the works. It isn't a
Finalized,
done deal yet, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And this is the Skowhegan Indian.
Yeah.
And you're taking on something that there weren't any other real takers for this, apparently.
That's as far as I know. Yeah.
And this is for $1 in the transaction
Yep.
to get the Indian. And the Skowhegan Indian, I think most of our audience knows it's pretty iconic. It was brought here, Bernard Langley,
Yep.
1969.
Yep.
I was around then, Joe. I actually remember this. And brought the Indian, and they put it next to what was done in Pekulski's office. They've been out of business for a few years, but right in that area and out behind Cumberland Farms. And after they located it there, there was back and forth in the community for years as to whether that was the appropriate location
Right.
for that.
Yeah.
Many thinking it should have been either in Coburn Park or out on an island in the middle of the Kennebec River and so forth, but a
Yeah.
lot of controversy surrounding that. Well, unfortunately, over the years, the Indian wasn't properly maintained.
Yep.
And as I recall, Steve Dion was hired and did some work on it and got it up to snuff for a little while.
Yep.
And then what happened? The arm something fell off.
Let's see.
Nose fell
And-
off, whatever.
Yeah. So in 2014, I worked for Steve Dion, and we did the restoration work.
I didn't realize that.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Huh.
And we did the restoration work on it, and I spent a lot of time inside the Indian,
Yeah.
doing a lot of the structural repair on fixing the steel and some of the bigger beams and stuff in there, and trying to put in all this wire mesh to keep squirrels and things out.
Yep.
So at that time, we had it all, excuse me, back up to what it originally was supposed to be like. And one of the issues, there was some changing in the chamber and a couple of different things that happened at the chamber that caused the maintenance schedule to kind of fall off. So
Yes.
there was some maintenance things that kind of got missed, and then it just got to the point where it was like, how they were looking at like, oh, now we got to raise funds and do all of this stuff again,
Yeah.
realistically. So that brings us to today. That was 14, so you're looking at what, 12
Almost 12 years, yeah.
12 years later, that it's been kind of just sitting in the elements by itself. And if you own a house that's made of wood that you have to maintain and keep it painted and watch where different animals might want to get in, and or water, right? Those are the big things. And so the elements did take a toll on it, and there's a couple things that failed. And back when we had that crazy windstorm, I can't remember, it was almost a year ago now when we had it. It did some damage. Like the spear came down because it started rocking so much that it actually snapped the arm, and that came down.
Okay, it was the arm.
Yeah, so the arm came down, and then there's a couple of bolts in the face that failed,
okay.
And so the center of the face fell off.
That's why I got the nose piece.
That's
okay. All right.
that's the nose piece. So yeah, so it became in disrepair, and the chamber was trying to figure out what to do with it, and they figured that hopefully there was somebody out there that would, basically give them a hand of taking care of it and passing it along so that they can, so it could still stick around.
So you're going to own this.
Yeah, so we're forming a nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
That it'll go under, so it won't technically. I mean, it's
won't be just
me
you
pushing it through, but it'll be owned under our nonprofit.
Okay.
And we're going to raise funds to bring it back up to what it needs to be.
Okay, gotcha.
I already have some people lined up that are willing to help out, even in volunteering and spending some of their time to get wood and do some of the work to the Indian, and even borrowing some equipment to be able to do the work. But the ultimate goal is to get it all back up to snuff, and then possibly, I can't 100% say this, but the idea is to possibly have it moved.
Yeah, I was going to ask you whether that was because it's on whose property now?
So it's on part of the Heights.
Heights,
property.
okay, it is.
They owned, and they have.
I think there was some question about who owned what there.
Yeah, so it's the way it's set up is it's all of the Indian sits on the Heights property, and then the front side of the Indian is on town property.
Okay.
And basically, what the Heights, back when the Indian was placed there, signed trying to remember all the little details. I have it all written down, but
I remember it's a bit confusing.
It was basically like there was a 200-year lease
that
was set up for the Indian to be there. And the whole point, and basically what it was, is if the Indian ever became in disrepair to the point where it needed to be taken down, then they had to, whoever owned it at the time, had to have it removed, and the land would go back to the Heights.
Well, I'm glad to see there is somebody that is doing something about this, because I really, and probably a lot of the community felt, it had been quite a while since the chamber, I think they offered it to the town, and they were doing their best to try to get it off their hands, really, with a dollar deal and so forth. But honestly, I thought it was going to end up being destroyed.
And
that's the way it was looking.
For me, it was when it was like basically it was coming down to the deadline of when all that paperwork needed to be in to put in the proposal for it. I was just like, I kept hemming it on back and forth. Like, this is a large project.
It's a large project.
And then I just said, yep, I'm jumping in. And I just jumped in, put my hat in there, and we've been working on negotiating and talking about the whole project in general for quite a few months now. And we're wrapping it up. So.
Well, Joe, I wish you the best on this, and that kind of goes back to community again, doesn't it? Because it's all about community, what you're doing here. It certainly isn't all about you, because this is something being done for the community.
Right. I mean, I feel that's how I kind of live my life and how I've done things all around, like being on the fire department. That was one of the drivers for me, is like I'm helping out the community. And since I wasn't able to do that anymore, I was like, well, what can I do now, right? And I have a business that, we all need to make a living. We're still making money, but if I can give back and help out the community, that's what I'm going to do.
Certainly what you're doing. Anyone come up to you and say, are you nuts by taking this
all
on?
the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's going to be a hard one, I think, to do that. And that's why they were having such a difficult time finding somebody.
It is. And I mean, I feel like the advantage that I have compared to anybody else that's done it is I've physically worked on it. I have
Yes.
Steve Dion himself too, that we can sit down and talk about what needs to be done and all the notes that we have from the when we did it the first time.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of go back and see, even looking at like maybe something that we might have done that might have not worked out that we can kind of switch up this time. So yeah, it's going to be a fun project. It's going to be a challenging project, but
Well, having Steve as a resource, I think, is very helpful.
is.
He's certainly a tremendous contractor and craftsman. Really,
Yeah.
craftsman is the right
Yeah.
term for him.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we've covered quite a bit of ground here, Joe, and we did do a show with you shortly after you opened back in 2023, but there's been a lot to add between then and now, and your business has come a long ways, and
Yep.
it truly, truly is about community.
Yep.
And I'd like to thank you, Joe Allman, and I'm the host, Chris Perkins, and now you know.